New this morning, winter storm watch in effect for the weekend. We're talking heavy snow and gusty winds. We'll also have your first snowfall forecast from WRAL coming up.
Road preps. NCDOT will be back out today to prepare for another round of winter weather. How last weekend's ice could play a factor in road conditions this weekend. And decisions for schools. After a week of remote days, delays, cancellations, school officials will be looking ahead to next week. The factors that school districts will be considering this time around. WRAL News at 8 starts in less than 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, January 29th at 8 a.m. I'm Keely Arthur. Great to join you, Renee.
Yeah, and I'm Renee Chu. It is so nice to have Keely in studio. You always watch her 5 on Your Side reports during our morning newscasts, and here we get to anchor together. This is a first.
This is a
combo,
first.
and we're looking like Christmas this morning.
Which is kind of appropriate considering the snow.
That's right. We'll get some very festive weather come Saturday. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with what we can expect today and the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Keely, thank you for being here. It's nice to have you with us this morning. It is a cold start this morning. Beautiful, though, over downtown Raleigh. Gorgeous blue skies, just a little bit of cloud cover, but we'll see mostly sunny skies to partly cloudy. Notice the flags in front of the legislative building moving slowly. Our wind right now is only 3 miles per hour, but it still has an effect on the way things feel, especially when it's 22 degrees. That 3 miles an hour makes it feel like 17. It feels like 15 in Fayetteville and Rocky Mount, as well as South Hill. So it's bitterly cold again for us this morning. Our temperature climbs above freezing right around lunchtime, and we'll see highs in the upper 30s. New this morning, the Weather Service issued a winter storm watch for the weekend. Heavy snow with some gusty winds. And of course, as promised, we put together our own forecast here at WRAL for snow totals. We're going 3 to 6 inches widespread across the area. But this is going to be an interesting setup. We're going to see a low developing that may send us some bands of snow, and some of those bands could produce heavier than 6-inch totals. Right now, it's impossible to tell where that would set up. Is it going to be over the coast? Is it going to be closer to the mountains, or will it be right over us? Keep checking back as we continue to share more information. This is a brand new look at our probability of 3 inches of snow. New model just came in with some lower numbers, actually. So at this point, this one's 70 to about 90% chance, and we'll talk more about the timeline coming up. But will we have road trouble? Likely. Will you have to plow or shovel? Yep. And then outages will probably be sporadic and mostly related to wind, but we'll get into that in more detail coming up.
A lot of people want to know that. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Traffic-wise here, I'm keeping my eye on the roadways. Looks like I-440 and Lassiter Mill, pretty busy traffic-wise. Sun's kind of shining in the lens there, so there's a bit of a glare. So that's not the best there, but we can still see the cars that are moving. But you want to know how this is affecting your commute this morning, so let's go ahead and bring up delays there. We're looking at, if you're taking US 1 south from Wake Forest headed into Raleigh, significant improvement in the past hour. We started with 14-minute delay an hour ago, and now we're just down to 4 minutes, which is good. Though we are seeing some increases if you're taking I-40 east from I-885 and US 1 north from Apex into Raleigh. We'll update you about any potential changes this morning on the radio 101.5 HD3.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you. NCDOT crews will be back on the roads today to prepare for this next round of winter weather. WRO's Allie Calabar is live outside the DOT facility in Raleigh this morning. And Allie, the crews have already gotten their start.
Yeah, we're seeing about 7 crews right now filling up and lining up, getting ready to head out there. We're even seeing them mix the salt with water and make that brine mixture that they're going to put out on several thousands of miles of roads today and tomorrow. NCDOT says they're getting ready to treat the entire area before the expected snowfall. Last week, they spent 2 days covering 6,000 miles of road. This week, they are still stocked up on brine and salt Frozen sleet, though, it's still lingering on side roads, and so NCDOT says some of those icy patches may stay around this weekend. They say the snow will be easier to get off the roads, but they are prepped for just any type of precipitation.
That forecast holds true and it's just snow, it's going to be much easier to clear than the frozen sleet we had out on the road. We're preparing for the storm regardless of what it throws at us.
So how can you help? Well, NCDOT is asking people to stay off the roads this weekend. They say that'll make it easier for them to clear the roads quicker. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
Today, we will learn more about how North Carolina is getting ready for the snow this weekend. Governor Josh Stein plans to hold a news conference this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We will carry that news conference live on WRAL TV, WRAL.com, and WRAL News Plus. Brining is already underway in Morrisville. Crews are treating those roads with brine ahead of the weekend weather. The Public Works Department started brining yesterday. Crews will continue through today on both primary and secondary roads.
We are keeping track of school schedule changes across our area this morning. Wake and Durham are on a 2-hour delay today. Several other districts will be remote, including Orange, Granville counties. Person, Halifax, and Chatham counties are closed as well, and Mecklenburg County, Virginia. Now, school districts are watching for this next round of winter weather and what it will bring. WRAL's Destiny Patterson is live outside Olds Elementary School in Raleigh this morning. Destiny, as students finish out this school week, parents are looking ahead for what's to come. I think they're getting a little tired of everything.
Keely, I mean, it's really quiet right now at the elementary school, and that's because Wake County Public Schools, they are on a 2-hour delay. It's largely because of the lingering impacts that we're seeing from the winter storm from this past weekend. And district leaders say that they are, having to go through a lot of different factors when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to modified schedules or even remote learning, which we're seeing some other districts do. And one parent says that she's thankful for multiple options, including remote learning.
We don't have the infrastructure and the stuff to deal with a winter storm here, so we just got to roll with it. Get a couple days in if they can this week, and then deal with the next storm when it comes.
Here in Wake County, district leaders tell me that there is a lot that goes into making these decisions. They follow the National Weather Service very closely, and they also are looking at the conditions across the county as well as at each individual campus. And here in Wake County, they say that they try to make that call before 9 p.m. And of course, going into next week, they are going to be faced with some more tough decisions about how and when students will be in the classroom. So, of course, we'll keep you updated. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
Destiny, thank you. You can stay with WRAL to keep yourself and your family informed. Check them out. We have the largest, most experienced severe weather team in North Carolina. We will have live team coverage of weather and road conditions now and throughout the weekend.
There will be increased law enforcement today at several schools in Nash County after a new round of threats. They involve Red Oak Elementary School, Red Oak Middle, Northern Nash High, and Rocky Mount High. Law enforcement is looking into threats made both yesterday and overnight. Edgecombe County schools were moved to a remote learning day yesterday because of threats as well. Meanwhile, a 16-year-old girl has been arrested in connection with a threat made at Rocky Mount High School. Police say the threat was about a potential school shooting. The teenager is charged with communicating a threat of mass violence on educational property, which is a felony.
And happening today, day 4 of jury deliberations in the double murder trial of Isaiah Ross. Jurors were not able to reach a verdict yesterday. Ross is accused of killing teenagers Devin Clark and Lyric Woods back in 2022. The jury told the judge yesterday they are unanimous on their decision regarding the charge for killing Devin Clark. However, they are split 8-4 regarding the killing of Lyric Woods. Check WRAL.com out this morning for updates on deliberations and our live stream at the courthouse. It starts at 9 a.m.
New this morning, a murder suspect who escaped a North Carolina jail is back in custody. Zion Britt was found around 5 a.m. at a Motel 6 in Lumberton. He is now back in Columbus County, where he was being held on a first-degree murder and conspiracy charges. Now, according to deputies, he left the Columbus County jail earlier this week by pretending to be another inmate who is set to be released. Deputies say Britt will face more charges in connection with the escape.
Well, new this morning, the White House and Senate leaders are moving closer to a deal to avert another government shutdown. Sources say that progress is being made in negotiations ahead of tomorrow's deadline. The White House reportedly moving closer to the Democrats' demands to split Homeland Security funding from a larger funding package. Now, this would give Democrats time to negotiate new policy measures on the deployment of ICE agents across the country. The deal in the works would fund the other agencies in the package through the end of September, but would only give extensions temporarily to DHS.
We are also following new developments out of Minnesota this morning. 2 Border Patrol agents involved in the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy have been placed on administrative leave. That's according to a spokesperson for Homeland Security. The department is also distancing itself from its initial assessment of the shooting. Shortly after the shooting, Homeland Security said that Preddy wanted to massacre law enforcement. Now the department says that statement was based on reports from a very chaotic scene. The shooting is still under investigation. 8:11 now, winter weather road safety. The warning from law enforcement ahead of this next storm after a close call in Franklin County.
And changing trends, how our next winter storm could affect the drought conditions we've been facing for months.
And we promised you today we would show you our forecast snowfall totals. I'll show you the trickiest part of this forecast coming up. It's 8:14 and temperatures are cold even with all that sunshine. 23 in Wilson, 22 in Durham, and 26 in Fayetteville. It's a little breezy out there. The wind isn't too bad yet, but will probably become breezier later this afternoon. So there's a wind chill out there. 21 is our temperature in Roxborough. It's 26 in Fayetteville, 22 in Garner and in Cary, 23 there up in Roxborough. Looking at 37 for the high temperature this afternoon. So no matter when you're walking the dog, your dog might want its sweater just because it's really cold out there. This cold weather, of course, sets us up for a good chance for wintry weather over the weekend. I'll show you our snowfall total potential coming up.
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. Traffic-wise, I'm keeping my eye on the roads right now. Another camera to show you this morning. I-440 at Rich Road. You'll see there are plenty of vehicles that are out there right now. It's definitely getting busy. In terms of what delays are looking like, this is why I'm also keeping my eye on the map right here. You'll see improvement that we're seeing from US 1 South from Wake Forest if you're headed into Raleigh, though we're still kind of seeing that same delay I saw about 15 minutes ago if you're coming from I-885 using I-40 East headed into Raleigh. Any potential updates this morning we'll be bringing to you all morning long. Keep us tuned in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Chris, thank you for that. A warning from law enforcement ahead of more winter weather this weekend. This comes after a Franklin County woman says her windshield was smashed from ice that flew off another car. Earlier this week, Kate Wall was driving with her 2 kids in the car when flying ice did this to her windshield. In some northern states, there are laws that require drivers to remove snow and ice off cars before driving. North Carolina does not have a law like that. Despite this, Nash County Sheriff Keith Stone says clearing off your car is not only courteous, but it keeps you and other drivers safe as well.
Make sure it is very de-iced before you get on the road. And when I'm talking about de-iced, I'm talking about the ice that's on the hood, the roof of the car, on the trunk of the car, because as you start going down the road, that stuff can blow off.
Give yourself time to warm up that car. The best way to also keep your car clear, invest in ice scrapers and brushes for your vehicle.
Now to some international news. President Donald Trump is threatening a new military strike against Iran if it refuses to negotiate a new nuclear deal. In a Truth Social post yesterday, Trump warned that the next strike would, quote, be far worse than the one carried out last summer. The U.S. previously targeted 3 of Iran's nuclear sites. The president also reiterating his warning that an armada is on its way. That is what he is saying. And time is, quote, running out. The Iranian foreign minister says the country's armed forces is prepared to respond to any aggression.
Fewer Americans are signing up for health care through the Affordable Care Act. This is after federal subsidies expired this year. New federal data shows more than 1 million fewer people signed up for health insurance compared to this time last year. Experts are predicting that enrollment is likely to drop even more in the coming months. Many people are seeing higher monthly premiums and deductibles after federal subsidies were not renewed by Congress.
Happening today, the UNC Board of Governors is resuming its two-day meeting. Yesterday, the Board of Governors talked about tuition and fee increases across North Carolina. If approved, students would see a $49 million hike in tuition across the state. Out-of-state graduates would see the biggest jump. The final vote is expected to come next month. There are 16 schools in the UNC system, including NC State, UNC Chapel Hill, and North Carolina A&T.
Also happening today, UNC is unveiling its new library AI Studio. The university says this tool is meant to help with exploring and learning about creative uses for artificial intelligence. The grand opening will be on the second floor of the Davis Library in Chapel Hill. It starts at 3:30 this afternoon.
The Buddhist monks are on the move again today. They are leaving Gasburg, Virginia, and are on their way to Lawrenceville, Alberta, resting in Virginia. Yesterday, they crossed the state line from North Carolina into Virginia, and they participated in a peace-sharing talk at a church in Gasburg last night before stopping for some well-deserved rest. The monks' final destination will be our nation's capital. All this winter weather made for quite the backdrop as they kept moving through ice, snow, and sleet. Nothing could stop them. We'll keep you updated on their journey. Astronomy Days at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences is being postponed because of the winter weather again. The event was supposed to be held last week, but was rescheduled for this week. It will now be held on February 7th and 8th. Fingers crossed. The free family-friendly event includes opportunities to meet scientists and do hands-on activities and much more.
So the snow predicted for the weekend has the potential to stop the season from being one of the driest on record. This is the 6th driest winter since 1944, since they started keeping records. That could all change depending on how much snow we get. If we get 5 inches of snow, that would put us in average winter precipitation for the season. Now, how about the cold? Turns out this is the 37th coldest winter since 1944. WRAL's Ashley Rowe talked with meteorologist Amy Wilmoth about why we've been feeling this cold weather.
This has shifted just a little bit. So we've been on the cold side, storm tracks have been more in our area, and that kind of helps to explain why it has been a little bit different this season.
And sure enough, snow lovers, you could get your wish this season. Significant snow coming our way, Elizabeth. And while a lot of you root for snow, there are also others. It brings with it a whole host of problems.
Oh, it really does. I know. And, especially, 2 weekends in a row, it's probably going to be a lot of fatigue from that, especially since we could see cold temperatures that mean this could stick around into next week. Right now, everything is nice and quiet. We do have a strong flow coming out of the northwest, bringing us some chilly temperatures. And then we're going to be watching for a low to develop in the next 24 hours. But the snow is going to start tomorrow night. So this is going to be a different situation than we saw last weekend. Last weekend, the low formed over around the Gulf Coast and then it slid eastward. So there was some time for the models to actually, or to collect some data to go into the models so that the forecast was a little better. So we're going to be sort of flying by the seat of our pants on this one as it develops and immediately dump some snow on us. So more likely to be snow instead of ice. Now's the time to go ahead and prep for what will be hazardous travel, meaning prep to stay home for the weekend. This is a look at our winter storm watch issued this morning from the National Weather Service. Heavy snow and gusty winds are possible. This is a look at Futurecast. We'll see the snow developing from the west and moving on in, mainly after 6 p.m. on Friday. By midnight, we're starting to see it covering the viewing area, and there's 3 a.m. on Saturday. It's really going to be an all-day kind of event for us on Saturday. This takes us out to 11 p.m. Notice some heavier snow down to the south and then along the coast. We're going to be watching for some bands of heavy snow to develop, and it's too early to say if they're going to be right over us. The models are kind of all over the place. I think every run of the model that comes in puts those bands in a different place. So we're still watching for that. We may not know until, almost the time that it happens, who's going to get those, really heavy bullseyes of more than 6 inches. So Right now, we feel more confident with 3 to 6 inches overall, but pointing out that there might be some bands of some heavier snow, and we'll keep watching that. Matter of fact, this most recent version of Futurecast that came in, probability of 3 inches of snow went down just a little bit. So we're looking at around 70 to 90% chance. And then same thing with the probability of 6 inches. We're down to about 30 to 50 instead of 30 to 60% chance. So we'll keep watching it. It will continue to change between now and tomorrow. This is a look at the scenarios. Right now, we're looking at the scenario right along the coast, which brings us the most snow. If it's a little farther inland, there could be a little bit of mixed wintry precipitation, but I don't think we'll see a lot of that. Of course, the cold temperatures are causing a lot of travel trouble across the country. A look at the frozen Hudson River. This is right here at New York City. Look at all the ice covering the river. Those are all ferries that people count on to move across the river there, getting back and forth from New Jersey to New York. So anyway, we're going to end up with some road trouble for sure. And then, of course, you might end up having to shovel. Outages will likely be patchy.
Get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. It is 8:26. I'm Keely Arthur. Let's get it right to the woman of the hour, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner.
Yeah, no throwing tomatoes, though, because I know you're not all snow fans. It's a cold start out there this morning. Our temperatures are in the 20s. We don't climb above freezing until around lunchtime. And then it's a chilly afternoon, too, with temperatures in the upper 30s and a pretty steady wind chill all day long. Winter storm watch is new for this morning. It goes into effect late Friday, lasts until Sunday, with the potential for heavy snow and windy conditions. This is a first look at our WRAL snowfall forecast. Right now, we're forecasting 3 to 6 inches widespread with the potential for some heavier bands.
Pretty cool perspective from Sky 5 to see the NCDOT teams preparing to get the salt prepared for the roads. Thought I'd show you that before I head you to my traffic report this morning to show you how things look on I-440 at Ridge Road. Pretty busy there. A lot of cars are driving there. But in terms of delays, we're seeing, about 6 minutes if you're headed on I-40 East from IA-85. We're also seeing just a 1 minute delay using I-87 South from Knightdale. But there are a couple of crash icons. We'll be keeping our eye on the roads this morning, all morning long, 101.5 HD3.
Yeah, Chris, those NCDOT crews working hard back on the road today to prepare for the next round of winter weather. Trucks will be out brining the entire area again after last week's ice storm. NCDOT says some of those icy patches may stay as snow falls this weekend. And we are keeping track of some school schedule changes across our area this morning. Wake and Durham are on a 2-hour delay. Several other districts remote. Orange and Granville counties, Person, Halifax and Chatham counties closed, as well as Mecklenburg County, Virginia. Well, next on Fox 50, deliberations resume today in the Isaiah Ross trial. And coming up on Today, Gronk will detail his new Super Bowl ad.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
New this morning, a winter storm watch that goes into effect this weekend for heavy snow and gusty winds. Plus, I'll show you our official WRAL forecast for the weekend.
Beginning to brine, NCDOT crews will start to work on the roads as they prepare for weekend winter weather. The crews you could see on your drive this morning.
Plus, school decisions. We are looking into how different districts make snow day plans, the difficulties for parents with remote learning. It's been a scramble for parents trying to make plans, certainly, at least with Wake and Durham County schools. They'll have in-person school 2 days this week. We'll see what happens next week. Thanks so much for sticking with us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Keely Arthur. It's so good to be here with you, Renee. And I was just saying, this dry, cold weather is making my hair really staticky. You just gave me some hair oil, so thank you for that.
I'm looking out for you, Keely.
So we're dealing with cold. We're dealing with potential snow, too. Let's get it right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the Severe Weather Center. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, there are going to be so many things that people are going to have to do to adjust as we get into this weekend. We take a live look at Raleigh first. Let's get you out the door. It is breezy out there. Right in front of the legislative building, you can see the flags whipping around out there, and wind chill is definitely an issue. Now, officially at RDU, it's only 3 miles per hour, but the temperature is 22. And take a look at what that feels like. 17 in the Triangle. It feels like 15 in Fayetteville, 16 in South Hill, 15 in Rocky Mount. So no matter where you are, the wind chill is either at about 15 to around 20. We don't officially climb above freezing until right around lunchtime, and we'll keep it in the upper 30s for highs this afternoon. Lots of sunshine out there for us with just a few high clouds. New this morning, the winter storm watch that goes into effect Friday afternoon through Sunday morning. And of course, the promise that we would show you our first look at the snowfall forecast from the meteorologists here at WRAL. We are going with 3 to 6 inches widespread across the viewing area, but the models continue to show the potential for a band of heavy snow setting up somewhere in North Carolina, and it's possible that it sets up here. It probably wouldn't affect the entire viewing area, but if it does set up over us, it could bring us more than 6 inches. And of course, we're going to continue to watch that. But this is again our first look. Most likely we'll be adjusting it. The probability of 3 inches of snow right now is around 70 to 90%. And so yes, we are likely to have trouble on the roads. You may have to shovel, and outages will be few. That threat isn't nearly as great as last weekend.
Well, traffic-wise, Elizabeth, I do want to point our viewers' attention to this situation we're monitoring on I-440 at New Bern Avenue. There seems to be something that's going on that's brought out first responders here. If we could take this full screen so people can see, you'll notice right here using what I'm seeing are quite a few different vehicles that are kind of slowly going through. There's a sign that appears to be telling people to move over. But in terms of what specifically is leading to this, that I'm going to try to dig into because it's just popped up. I was able to get it up within the past, maybe 10 or so seconds. So stay with WRAL News. Let me dig into this and come back to me in maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and I'll try to get you an update.
Very unusual jam there, but at least DOT put up a directional sign, it looks like, and telling people to move over. And today, DOT trucks will be back out on the roads, brining ahead of this weekend's snowstorm. WRAL's Ali Kedlabar is live at the NCDOT maintenance yard this morning. Ali, they are well stocked, and some of them have been already rolling out.
Yeah, they're getting ready to roll out. We've seen about 7 of them fill up with brine over the past few hours, and we can see they're on their way. We want to take you up to Sky 5, give you an overview. About 7 of them were filled up with brine this morning. They are getting ready to treat the entire area before the expected snowfall. Last week, they spent 2 days covering 6,000 miles. Crews worked over the weekend to clear the icy roads, and now they're ready to do it all over again. NCDOT tells us they are still well stocked on brine and salt. They are also staffed. Crews have been working in shifts to rest up. And this weekend, snow may be covering any lingering slick spots, but DOT says while snow may be easier to get off the roads, people should still be cautious.
People still need to be very careful out on the roads. I mean, we will clear this snow off easier than we've had to in the process of clearing the sleet off of, the accumulated sleet off. But as we head into this next storm, we need to be vigilant.
Yeah, and they're telling people to be cautious, and to do that, if you don't have to go out on the roads, don't, because they say the less people that are out on the roads, the quicker they can clear any of that snowfall, the quicker they can get you back on the roads. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kedlabar, WRAL News.
If people can do that again, crews will certainly be appreciative of that. Well, today we'll learn more about how North Carolina is getting ready for snow this weekend. Governor Josh Stein will hold a news conference this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We will carry that live on WRAL, WRAL.com, and WRAL News Plus.
We're keeping track of local school schedule changes this morning. Wake and Durham are currently on a 2-hour delay. Other districts will be fully remote, including Orange, Granville counties, and then Person, Halifax, and Chatham counties are closed, as well as Mecklenburg County, Virginia. We have a full list of closures up on our website, WRAL.com. And we know those decisions about school closures, delays, or remote class can be really tough for parents, just major schedule changes. WRAL's Destiny Patterson is diving into the district's decision making when it comes to that process.
mean, you can still see some of the lingering impacts from that winter weather that we saw from this past weekend, and that's why some school districts have opted for a modified schedule or even remote learning. Now, district leaders here in Wake County tell me that there is a lot that goes into the decision making here. They follow updates from the National Weather Service, and they're also looking at conditions throughout the entire county as well as at each individual campus. They tell me that they try to make a decision before 9 p.m. the night before, but some parents tell me that that timeline can be really frustrating as they're trying to plan for the day ahead.
Financially, too, it's like we can't just keep on taking off from work and like at the last minute. Like we have to have that plan ahead of time.
District leaders say that making this decision is about being swift, but also being really careful about the safety for both staff and students. Of course, heading into next week, they have another high likelihood of having to make these tough decisions as another round of storms heads our way. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Wake County.
With the chance of more winter weather this weekend, now is the time to make sure you have the WRAL weather app. You will see updated videos, graphics, and minute-by-minute forecasts. It's free to download.
New this morning, a murder suspect is back in custody after escaping jail. According to deputies, Zion Britt slipped out of the Columbus County Jail after pretending to be another inmate who was set to be released. He was found around 5 a.m. at a Motel 6 in Lumberton. He is now back in Columbus County, where he was behind bars on first-degree murder and conspiracy charges. Deputies say he will face more charges in connection with that escape.
A new order has been filed in the this gentleman here, case, Austin Thomas. Thomas pleaded guilty to murdering 5 people in Raleigh. Because Thompson was 15 at the time of the shooting, he will go through a special sentencing hearing to determine whether he will be eligible for parole. Now, typically, his crimes would carry a mandatory life sentence. Sentencing is scheduled to begin Monday. It could last several weeks.
Also happening today, day 4 of jury deliberations in the double murder trial of Isaiah Ross. Jurors were not able to reach a verdict yesterday. Ross is accused of killing teenagers Devin Clark and Lyric Woods back in 2022. The jury told the judge yesterday they are unanimous on their decision regarding the charge for killing Devin Clark, but they are split 8-4 regarding the killing of Lyric Woods. New developments out of Minnesota this morning. 2 Border Patrol agents involved in the deadly shooting of ICU nurse Alex Preddy have been placed on administrative leave. That's according to a spokesperson for Homeland Security. The department is also distancing itself from its initial assessment of the shooting. Shortly after the shooting, Homeland Security said Preddy wanted to, quote, massacre law enforcement. Now the department says that statement was based on reports from a very chaotic scene. The shooting is still under investigation.
Here, locally, more than 100 people gathered last night outside the Durham VA to honor Alex Preddy. The North Carolina chapter of National Nurses United put on the vigil. Those nurses shared messages to Alex Preddy and to the administration.
Alex, we are here today because we believe our eyes.
I agree that people should come here in certain pathways, but this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to enforce.
Preddy, of course, was an ICU nurse at a VA in Minnesota. More vigils are expected in the coming days to honor Preddy and Renee Good, the woman shot and killed by an ICE agent earlier this month.
And Keely, after the escalations in Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz says he will not run for political office again. Instead, Governor Walz says he will serve his community in other ways. You may remember weeks ago, Walz says he was not going to run for re-election as governor after the fallout from the state's handling of reported child fraud. Now he says he will not ever run for any elected office position. This morning, we are hearing word of a possible successor. Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar says she will be running for the empty seat. Leaving NC, the Buddhist monks are in Virginia this morning on their walk for peace. A look at the rest of their journey as they head to Washington, D.C.
Plus, utility scams. Duke Energy is warning customers about these fake texts. Coming up, 5 on Your Side will share how to keep your personal information safe.
And we are tracking this next winter storm as we give you a live look at Carr Lake. Looks like a beautiful morning and still very, very cold. Ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will break down the likelihood of seeing more than 3 inches of snow in the Triangle and beyond this weekend.
.44, taking a live look at Chapel Hill. Beautiful sunshine, just a few high clouds out there, but a lot of people bundled up as they're walking around there in Chapel Hill. And here's why. It is cold out there. Temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 20s still. 22 in Durham, 26 in Fayetteville, 22 in Cary, 23 in Garner, as well as Rocky Mount and Wilson. I tell you, I took my exercise inside to the gym yesterday, which is not my favorite thing to do, but it's just cold out there. Our highs this afternoon will be in the upper 30s. Coming up, we're going to talk about what's new. We have a new map to show you with our potential snowfall totals. We'll explain that forecast for you in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds great, Elizabeth. Folks, I want you to put your attention to the screen here. I do have an update regarding the situation on I-440 at New Bern Avenue. We do know that there was a crash, and this is at mile marker 13, according to this alert that we got here. This is in Raleigh. The crash happened around 8:20 this morning, but in terms of clearing up, it's not expected to be cleared by about 11:20, so keep that in mind because that could cause a significant delay for you. As you see, these cars are being told to move over as they are starting to slow down as well. We'll be getting more information regarding other delays elsewhere here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there on the Beltline. All right, Chris, thank you. The Congressional Budget Office says National Guard deployments cost taxpayers almost $500 million just from June through December of last year. The nonpartisan CBO says if the deployments continue at this rate through this year, they could cost $1.1 billion. The findings are based on the deployments to Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Memphis, Portland, and Chicago. A White House spokeswoman responded to these estimates by saying the deployments helped lessen crime in respective cities. A man is accused of sexually assaulting people at a WakeMed mental health hospital. Devin Lilly faces 9 charges, including kidnapping and rape. Investigators say he broke into the hospital nearly 2 weeks ago. He appeared in court Tuesday and is being held without bond. The hospital system told us Lilly is not affiliated with WakeMed. In a statement, the hospital said WakeMed has a long-standing zero-tolerance policy in place to protect the safety and well-being of our staff and those we serve. We take any allegation of harm extremely seriously.
Well, as we recover from last weekend's storm and we look ahead to this weekend's system, Duke Energy is warning customers to be on the lookout for scammers trying to get your personal information. Most of us are Duke Energy customers and anticipated possible outages to our service with last weekend's system. And you may have gotten a text like this one, a message appearing to be from the utility company, warning of scheduled rolling power outages due to the freezing conditions. There's also a call to action in the text for you to click the link to view a map. That's where they get you. Don't do that. The Better Business Bureau is warning people to be on the lookout for texts similar to that one. Suspicious links are an immediate red flag. Clicking links in texts like this could prompt the download of malware onto your device or lead to websites where you're asked for your personal information. Another warning sign, do not do that. Requests to pay with prepaid debit cards, gift cards, digital wallet apps, wire transfer, that is a red flag as well. Legitimate companies will often just accept a check or credit card. Now, if you're not certain about a text, don't reply, don't engage with it. Instead, just reach out to the company you want to get a hold of and Google their phone number, verify it's them. If the text is in fact a scam, block the number, erase the message. Renee?
New information this morning about companies at the center of that baby formula botulism outbreak. A California company, Organic West Milk Inc., supplied the dried milk powder. A Dairy Farmers of America plant in Nevada then processed it. The outbreak impacted By Heart infant formula. Dozens of babies in 19 states, including some here in North Carolina, have gotten sick because of it.
All right, the Buddhist monks are on their walk for peace, and they are moving today. Yesterday, they crossed the state line from North Carolina into Virginia. They participated in a peace-sharing talk at a church in Gasburg, Virginia last night before stopping for some well-deserved rest. The monks' final destination will be our nation's capital. We'll keep you up to date on their journey.
Bridgerton is back. Time for a look at what's trending.
All right, it's a big day for Renee Chu and other Bridgerton fans.
You haven't watched
4.
this?
I haven't.
Ooh,
You're
okay.
making me want to, Renee. You're really selling it. Premieres today on Netflix. The new season is expected to focus on a romance for the second Benedict Bridgerton and a maid named Sophie. Ooh, juicy. And hints at a Cinderella-style romance.
Yeah, juicy is one way of describing it. Steamy, spicy, all that. But it's just fun escapism. And season 4, the demand is there to watch this. And we know you'll be watching some Netflix when the storm comes in.
Yes,
so
well, I
here's a
love
good
that.
show to watch.
Perfect show to
Right.
hunker down.
Just be snowed in and,
Yes.
you know, by the fireplace, all that.
If Renee's not working this weekend, it's because she's watching Bridgerton.
You know what I'll be doing.
Well, just 1 week after an ice storm, more wintry weather is around the corner. If you're planning to clear your driveway, remember to put safety first while shoveling. The American Heart Association says just take things slow, push the snow instead of lifting it. One physical therapist says to treat shoveling like a workout by stretching and warming up beforehand.
Bend at the knees and hips, shovel some snow, stand up out of that, and then walk the snow to where you need to put it to get it out of the way.
Yeah, you also want to be really careful about slipping on the ice. Shoveling snow can take a toll on your body and could even lead to heart-related issues.
With our last storm, there was not much to shovel, but with this storm, yes, get those shovels out, prepare. Also get the sleds out, too, because we could have significant snow, Elizabeth.
Yeah, this one is going to be a lot more fun than the last one. And there were still people out, you know, sledding and having a good time.
Sure.
But we'll have those impacts that we know will come. And I know there's probably going to be some fatigue since we just had one of these storms last weekend. But we have high confidence in a snowstorm for this weekend. So start preparing for measurable snow. I mean, really, the best thing that you can do is go to the store, you know, go to the pharmacy, whatever you need to do so that you can be at home for a few days after this storm. Keep checking back for updated totals. We do have our first look at snowfall totals from our team here at WRAL. We also have a winter storm watch that goes into effect over the weekend. The Weather Service just posted that this morning. So that's new for us today. Also new is our map. We have 3 to 6 inches posted across our area. Now, there is likely to be a band of heavy snow that sets up somewhere in North Carolina. It could be along the coast. It could be right in the middle of our viewing area, or it could be farther to the west. And in that band, the precipitation, the snow could be heavier than 6 inches. So we're watching that very closely, but we don't feel confident about putting those numbers down until we get a little better idea where that may be. And it may be just hard to know. This is a storm that's going to develop and immediately start dumping snow on us. So it's not one that we're going to get to watch for a while. And knowing where that band develops is going to be tough. You know how bands behave when we're in hurricanes. They just kind of come and go. And knowing exactly where they are is just really tricky. This is midnight on Friday night into early Saturday, and you can watch the snow starting to show up there. Definitely the potential for some heavier snow during the day on Saturday. There's 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then after that, that low starts to pull away from us, and the snow ends on Saturday morning. We'll see gradual clearing after that. So what to expect? Absolutely road trouble. I mean, we get 2 inches of snow and we'll have road trouble. Expect to have to shovel it most likely, and outages are not as likely. Speaking of travel trouble, take a look at what's lingering from last weekend's storm. This is a look at Mississippi. It looks like Vermont, doesn't it? They ended up with a lot of snow there. This is Highway 55, and of course, you know, they're just shut down right there with all those accidents. So we're hoping that we don't see something like that. We'll have that kind of snow. We just hope people stay at home. All right, in Raleigh right now, it's breezy. We have 22 degrees with winds variable at 3 miles per hour. So we do have a wind chill. It's feeling like 17 in Durham and Raleigh, as well as Southern Pines. Feels like 15 in Rocky Mount and 14 in South Hill. That wind chill will be with us all day long. It's likely to only feel like right around freezing for this afternoon. 32 is our normal low, but of course we will see much colder temperatures than that, and the cold air sticks around for a while.
Elizabeth, thank you. Before we go to break, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers, and we'll get another check on weather and traffic next.